It's amazing what you find in your old cabinets. I'm going through my old cabinets here in town. Found some flywheel bolts, old volt gauge, some nails, old lifter. Nothing I really need out of this cabinet. So how's everybody today? Getting ready to put the Camaro in. Just making sure I got everything out of the way. And picked up. So I guess I want to back her in here. I keep forgetting I got some tires in here. I'm going to have to switch out the Tahoe here pretty soon. These one tires ain't the best, but they're actually better than what I got on the Tahoe. On the front anyway. But, alright. Oh yeah, I got the water barrel filling up. It's almost full, so alright. I don't like here, I got it much closer. I think I got it further back in this year. So yeah, we're going to just put her away for now. And got that filled up, let it run over for a while. So anyway, okay. Well, I think I might have figured out why the dog's been getting mad. He gets close, I'll get him. I wish I had a dash cam for my vehicles. Oh man, you guys would have seen a great big ass wolf in broad daylight. He let the combine in front of me go by, didn't bug him one bit. But as soon as I went by, he shot out of the ditch, damn near ran into the side of me. Oh yeah, he's just huge. Yeah, and he's evidently running that route pretty good because the grass in the ditch is chopped down. So yeah, and it's 10:20 in the morning and he's out, so a little leery on that one. But yeah, the combine went by, didn't bug him. I come by with the pickup and he damn near ran into me. So interesting start to the day. Oh, well, we're almost to the farm. Got the barrel of water. And I seen Iron Man said something about 3 foot's not going to be high enough, but I got to figure out how to get this water out of this and into the shop. Even if I don't get the power wash today, at least it's in there. And then I'll look for some kind of a pump, like something that pump for 4 or 5 gallons a minute, so it can keep up with the power washer. And I'll rig up a pump that I hook up. I mean, I got electricity right there too, so all minor inconveniences. So, all right. My arms feel like jello. That's the old barrel pump I used. I shook all the water out of it, blew it out. And that's what I used to pump all this water in there. That's full. I just kind of put that over. Let's see, I suppose that's going to float. Yeah, it's going to float, but at least keep numb nuts out of it. But I had to turn that in quite a bit more. I had just a slight little drip. So that's pumped out. And I'm working on getting the bench clean, so we can start on that on the motor stuff. So bear with me just a few more minutes and we'll get set up here. So all right, I swear those little V6 blocks way more than this V8 here. Woo, I'm getting ready to change that out, take it off that, and put our new project here on the stand. Oh yeah, yeah. Can't believe how heavy those things are. I gotta figure out a crane in here or something. But I'm getting ready to start here, so a few more minutes and we should be ready to go. Well, I must be getting older and getting weaker. Boy, when I add that weight of that motor to my legs, oof, I felt it. But anyway, with that, here is the start of what to expect when buying a used motor. Kind of dissected things apart here a little bit, and we're going to get started here. So what we've got here is a I don't know, I gotta find the code before I say that. Let's see if we can find that right here. Okay. It's not the best code, but ooh, that's tough. At least it ain't a Mexican block. I'm going to guess it was an 80s, because what this is unusual to this block is they put silicone there. It's got a driver's side or passenger side dipstick capabilities. So this was a universal block they had for a while. I kind of set the pistons back into their respective holes, and I guess visually looking, they don't look too bad. Or do they? That's the number 7. And they are marked 30 over. The even side don't look too bad. Well, as we look, where was it? Now, see the ring gap and burning? That tells me the top rings were out. Oh, there's the, yeah, that's kind of, and right here and right there, they're close, and the compression was starting to burn through. So I've been looking over here, and I can't see it because this would be the driver's side head. Can't make up my mind what's going on with those valves. And those valves should be bent, unless he pulled the head off and fixed the valves and then ran the motor some more. Not sure. So then here is the oil pan that came off this. So we can see it's had damage done to it from a blowed up motor, but it's not from this motor. This block has no signs of breaking a rod or anything. And the other thing you can see how that metal there's pulled? You look down, you can see where every bolt hole goes. It's pulled. So those were over tightened. So, but that's savable. And that there, I don't know. It held oil, I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. That oil pan might be going in the scrap box. So got that. Timing chain and gear. Ooh, there's your cam bolts. You don't want to lose those. And looks like he's got the oil pan bolts and timing cover bolts in there. But okay, now to get back to that 350 with the broken piston here. What he was running was the 187 305 heads, which, yes, they up the compression for a 305. Yes, you can run them on a 350, but like he said, what he was complaining about having problems with this motor was warm days it would ping. See, this not only should have had the beveled edge, but it should have had a dish piston to drop the compression. Now, I guarantee you what happened here was that one of those days it was pinging, this ring got hot, butted together, and didn't have no room to expand, because if the ring is right there, the end of it, if that's the good end or if that's the broken end, was right there and it pinched, it had nowhere to go, so she grabbed in the cylinder wall and the piston's the weak link, and it peeled that edge off. So either his timing was off, or he did have too much compression in this motor. So what I thought was going to be a simple build may end up being worse, because now we need a set of pistons. I don't replace one piston. I mean, if you got one bad, you replace them all. So we're going to take these pistons and take the prospective rings that are left, because I noticed the number one top ring is completely gone, so I don't know what happened to that. But the rings we got left, I'm going to inspect them, check them, and see how the cylinders feel, and start checking this thing over. But yeah, that was a problem, and he told me, oh, it was running fine. Well, I guess buyer beware. I mean, everything I picked up that day to look at appeared to be good. And then, let's see. There's all the push rods, head bolts, and that. Okay. So we'll check out the push rods too. And that, all that. So that's what we've got for this 350. The crank is sitting over there, and the crank is 1010. Really don't look bad, but we got some bearings to look at that kind of tell us some telltale signs. Should I have bought this motor? Now that I've seen what I've seen, I don't know. The price I got the motor for, you couldn't go wrong. I mean, even with the damage that's here, and if I end up having to bore the block, you couldn't even buy a core for what I paid for this. So, I guess I'll get those pistons over and maybe clear a path to the... That's the only downfall of the small building. Clear a path to the press, and since I know I need pistons, I'm just going to press those pistons off and start another bucket of aluminum. So, alright, I'll get the rings out and I'll stick them in the cylinders and see what the ring gaps are like and see what they look like. So, alright. Okay, I'm going to do a couple and we'll explain what's going on here. Like I said, number one here is missing the top ring for some reason. You could either peel it off, or you're just going to squeeze and use your tool like that. And then the oil ring, since these are going to go to the scrap, I just go ahead and strip it out now, because and anyway, it makes it easier to work with in the press if it's all cleaned off. Okay. You look at that piston, she's full of carbon. Tells me that the rings have been worked really hard. And you really look at your grooves all the way around the piston. And I used to have a piston ring groove cleaner, 2 of them. You think I can find them? But anyway, okay, since this is number one, we're going to just stock rod bolts as far as I can see. There's no dimpling, no numbering, no lettering, but we're going to see what this bearing for number one here tells us. And the guy said he rebuilt this about 96, 97. The bearings are dated 97. For being the lower rod bearings, she really don't look too bad. The upper rod bearing, okay. Tells us we got something going on. Okay. Shows that there's been a lot of dirt through this motor. Nice thing is too, I had to snap it out of there. So, okay. You can tell there was a lot of force being pushed down on that bearing, because that's the upper side of the bearing. And that's saying there, it was experiencing some pretty good force down. And the bottom of the bearing shows pretty normal wear. But like I said, they show that they got the signs of dirt being through here. So, and they're already, let's see if you guys can see that. They're Cleveland bearings, yeah, Cleveland 77 bearings. Okay, we read that one. Just set this one off to the side. And unfortunately, first off, I noticed it's not bad, well, but I gotta determine if that's the cylinder or what little bit of carbon there is. But just feeling number one here, I can feel a wave, so this block's going to have to be bored, I'm pretty sure, which really sucks. really sucks, because okay, and like, see, I was telling, this is what you watch for here. You try and keep your ring gaps from one another, otherwise it starts letting compression by. And you can see that side of the piston, well, this side's even worse. And that ring, there's no spring back, the top ring, so there's just no spring, and I bet you she breaks on us. Heck, it's so small I can't even use the tool, so it tells you this top ring has changed in size. Got a good ring gap though. Otherwise, yeah, you just grab them like that, roll them off. I want to check those two rings. So second ring shows a little bit more. And okay. Again, this rod bearing shows. Well, look at there. Those were all lined up. The control ring and the outer rings were all gapped right at the same point. So that's not good. I won't show you each and every one of these, but okay, there's the lower bearing, a little wear on the bottom, shows a lot of sign of dirt, and I got a feeling these rods are going to have to be reconned, because again, this upper bearing is showing it's wore all the way through the Babbitt material, and that it's ate its way through, and you can see it's got some serious scratches in there. So, and we know we got something going on in this motor, because the top of the piston on number 7 pulled off. So, well, I'll go through the rest of these and check them out. And we'll come back and check some ring gaps, see how bad. I got a feeling I got a mess. Yeah, okay, just noticed something else here. Look at here. See how it's starting to eat away right there? Let's see if we can see that. But it didn't on this side. And see how it's black? Oops. Black there. Block's going to need to be decked. And after checking some of these ring gaps and filling the cylinders, it's going to have to be bored. The top rings have collapsed. Oh, wow. Let's see. Alright. Rings are in such bad shape that they've got a ridge around them. See that lip? They're supposed to be perfectly flat, so yeah, I'd say if he built this in '97 and ran it with those fuelie heads all this time, yep, he literally beat this motor to death. And I was hoping for a quick flip on this one, but it don't look like it. So yeah, I can feel a wave. I can feel where this one, the top two rings, this one, maybe. So yeah, I guess this is what I guess when they say, oh, come out running fine, and they're not rebuilding it, you really should probably think twice, I guess. But like I said, I ain't hurt that bad because I bought it cheap. So then I guess you get what you pay for, don't you? So, alright. Well, as we get going on number 2, we can see a chunk of something made full circle in that bearing. See that? All the way around. And, yeah. This poor motor's wasn't taken very good care of, and yeah, but hey, that's how you start. You got to start with the wore out stuff to make it good again. So alright, okay, as we can see here again, with the squeeze out, classic overuse of silicone, guys. Silicone is designed to be put on in a very thin layer, just make it wet, and that's good. But anyway, as we can see with this cork here, it's kind of burnt and that. The other thing you want to make sure is when somebody took it apart that they were nice and numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one's just automatic. This is the 4-bolt main. And what I like is they left the main bearings in here, so we can check those out. So with that, I'll put you guys back on the stand. And let's see, I got that out. Yeah, I got that. Oops. Okay, I'll use this one. And we'll see what we got. Oh, this bearing here I was going to show you guys. Something went fully around in that one, and then that ate it down like that. So yeah, I think that was number 4. But the good thing is none of them, they were all tight in the rod, so that doesn't say that they were starting to collapse, but they were getting chewed up. You know, it's kind of amazing when you think about it. That little thin piece of metal is what keeps your motor running, along with the oil. Actually, thinner yet is the film of oil that rides between that and the crankshaft. Kind of amazing on how the smallest things in the world actually support large things. So I don't know, goofy. Anyway, let's see. So let's see what this rear main. Okay, and this is one that's got the alignment pin, because some of these you put on, then you force the crank back and forward, then you tighten it down, but this one's got the alignment pin. There's the lower rear main. Again, shows some uneven wear on the bottom, so that tells me this, that should kind of loose. Oh, well, there's a bearing completely wiped clean. I guess better have that crank checked for straightness. That is wiped clean. The upper don't look that bad, but the bottom, yeah. And what I'm hoping is that they did not, I'm interested to see what number 3 looks like, because you notice they had small, then a large number. I really hope whoever worked on this did not put a main cap from another motor in. Yeah. That says the crank was hitting here. Oops. It hitting over here, taking the metal off. And since, like I said, let's see what's this, 412, 803. They're all 412. Well, yeah, the 412, 141. I don't know. There's another something thing for the machine shop. Check for me. Yeah, main bearings are, lower main bearings are pretty much wiped out. And then there's also arrows on there to point towards the front. Yeah, looks like who's coming in. Okay. Well, the front main looks good. So it makes me wonder how straight that crank is, since the 3 center mains are wiped. So let's see. And do this very careful. Don't hit the block. Because if you hit that edge, and roll that edge on the block, you've got problems. Yep, it is a 1010, and they are all dated 97. But the upper side of the bearings don't look bad. Yeah, as I show you, I don't need to keep them. Yeah, but there's been a lot of dirt through this motor. Oh yeah, that's what else I'm going to show. Oh, the upper of the front main though. So that tells me this crankshaft's kind of going in like this in the motor, so now I'm wondering how good the crank is. And, okay, here. Yes. Okay. And you know, you guys have heard me about my pet peeve about people that are lazy and line up cam bearings. Well, that has happened in... Okay, still recording. That has happened in this motor, as you can see. You see light there? You can see the light there? Come on, quit Sony in us. You can see that one? You can see that one. This one you won't, because the way it is. Guys that do that just do it for the simple fact so they know they got it centered. Well, that cam bearing should really be pointing either here or over here. So as the oil comes from the top of the motor down, and until the cam don't get any oil until the main puts a little oil pressure back. Well, if the main starts getting loose, that means that cam bearing isn't getting the oil pressure like it should. So that's why when the block's upside down, yeah, it'd be the 3 or 4 o'clock position. So these here in the middle should be here. The front and back have 2 holes in them. No, the front one's got 2 holes. And this one here in the rear, I put these center 3 in at 3 o'clock, and I put this one in at like 7 o'clock. And I carry 50, 60 pounds of oil pressure, and I don't have any problems. just, as if you got this, because if that hole's up there and being squeezed, that's forcing oil into the camshaft. Well, if this is lined up and this is lined up and that's not holding pressure, well, that ain't pushing the oil up to the cam. So that's why. And you know, it is so easy once you do that, to look in with a little flashlight. It's just a simple step. Doing it this way is a hurried man that just wants to get it done. Doesn't want to take the time. He figures it's done out the door, no problem. Now, anyway, so I'll get out the cam bearing driver and we'll knock out and see if any damage is done to the bearing. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, and again, this is just what I do when I build my motors. It's not saying it's right. It's not saying it's wrong. We all do things different, and so that's the discussion about the cam bearings there. That's what I don't like. You gotta be shitting me. Yep. I can't believe it. This thing had to be pumping oil. Oh my God. You guys just watch me take the caps off. And that. Does anybody see something wrong here? Let me get a little light. I'll show you. Does anybody see something wrong? Really? Does anybody? And then I looked over here at the upper. Does anybody see anything wrong? You got to be kidding me. If you haven't figured it out, the rear seal, come on. No, that ain't helping. The rear seal is in backwards and it's tight, so it's not been out and back in. That rear seal was put in backwards. Let's see. Yep, she's nice and tight. So that rear seal was supposed to have actually been put in like this, so that way the oil pressure coming would push against it and help seal it. Explains why the oil's all slung all over in the backside of the block, huh? Yeah. And that's the dirty side and that's the clean side, so that would have been to the engine oil. How did he keep from pumping the hell out of the oil? I really don't know. I just... And here, I'll show you. Rear main. Same thing. It's in there. Oops. God dang it. Okay. Lips pointing to the back. See, that lip is pointing to the back. And here's how it should be pointing. Wow. Well, at least that plug's in there that I always tell you to remember. It looks like it's been knocked out, but that's right there. But we'll be changing that out. Wow, that explains why this thing was so oily on the inside there. I'm really surprised that it held any oil. He was a kid. He was in high school, he said, when he did it. So he's one of the most fortunate kids I've seen to run this motor. But then again, I don't know how long this motor's been out. As oily as it is, it could have been out long. So anyway, Okay, I can't find the shaft I really wanted, but I'm going to go ahead and okay, I just wanted you guys watch as I knock that out, bring this out, and let's take a look at this bearing. Okay, the hole was pointed like that. I'm going to take a rag, wipe the oil off it, and we'll see what the bearing looks like. Okay, just what I suspected. Oh yeah. Okay, so you guys think it doesn't make a difference in how you put the cam bearings in? Look from right there through there. The cam with the valve train pushing down on it has no oil film to ride on. The top side of the bearing looks brand new. I can feel grit in it. So as the bearing started to deteriorate here, it started transferring into there. Let's do one more and I'll show you. Oops. Yes. Okay. Again. Straight out. This one I might have damaged some, but oh yeah. Yeah, maybe not. Looks like whoever put these cam bearings in may not. But then again, there again, look at there. Wear, excessive wear, because that hole. Now, like I said, if that hole would have been pointed up like this, that oil comes by and is under pressure right there, and it forces in and gets that oil film in there for the bearing to ride on. So yeah, you guys that want to take your time and just line up the hole with the hole so you know it's there, you're actually hurting yourself, because that starts wearing, you start losing oil pressure, your oil pressure is going to drop. So that's, oh, we'll do one more. What the hell? Alright, I'm going to just, I finally, okay, again, right out of the block. Kind of curious here. I'm just going to look at that one right there. Curious if it's my tool doing it. Now that I got that stuck in there. Nope, it shouldn't be coming off this. Boy, that is really weird. I bet you don't. Bet you I just made New Britain metal is not very strong. I bet you I can't even put that back on the 3/8. And that was the first and only time I beat on that thing. Alright, let's look at this cam bearing again. Okay, you've watched me. Now this was in the motor like this. See, the top side don't look too bad. And every one of these bearings got that same marking. That's why I felt the tool to make sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's not from that. But. Okay, so the top side of the bearing looks pretty good, and same story on the middle. Right there by where you would think you would have oil, it's not getting enough oil, so the cam is starting to ride on the cam bearings instead of riding on that oil film. That should be done when that hole's up here. The hole should be, when you're in your block, your hole should be, for the three metal ones, should be pointed up here when the block's upright at 1 o'clock. When the block's upside down, it should be pointing over here. Well, when it's upside down, it'll, no, yeah. No, sorry, I'm going to screw you up. When you put that in, it should be at the either 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock position. When the block goes up, yeah, that'd be either the 11 or 12. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So it does make a difference. The only one that it really don't make a difference on is the front cam bearing, but it still did, and these holes should have been in there, up there like that, and they had them down like that. So again, wasn't getting the oil when it should have. So hope that is the cam bearings explained. I've had a few people ask about that, and that's what it is. Let's see, is that going to reach? No. Will it? Oh no. No. Okay. I will have to find something for that one there. Anyway, shows a lot of bearing wear indications, and yeah. Alrighty. Okay. One machine shop's pricing themselves right out of business. Holy moly! Wow. I thought I'd give him a shot since this other guy's been taking so long. I think I'll wait for the other guy. It's a minor inconvenience, but holy crud. This shop I just called. 180 to bore and hone, 175 to deck, and then 140 to line bore if I needed it. No wonder everybody's stopping building their own motors and going to just buying them off the crates. Wow. Well, it'd be like the housing market. That's going to crash. There's going to be a lot of shops. But anyway, where we're at now, I'm going to pop the main bearings out, put them on. We got the cam bearings out, got the rear soft plug out for the cam bearing. I'm going to work on taking out the soft plugs and the galley plugs, and that is just so much nicer for those guys, and that way I know everything's out and it will be clean, because last year we had a motor that was supposed to have been clean but the plugs were still in, and when I opened it up, yeah. Anyway, I guess this is probably long enough for today, and I guess tomorrow we'll inspect the heads and see what that looks like. Well, here with the block, I'll do that off camera. I'm going to clean that, and then I'll take my straight edge and make sure it hasn't warped, because anyway, what do you do? Alright, I probably, no, I'm going, if I keep going, it's going to be too long. So this is where we are. We inspected the pistons, the rod bearings, the main bearings, the cam bearings, and yeah, found some issues I didn't expect. So I guess when you buy these things, you get what you pay for, and I don't know, we'll see. Okay, we'll finish up with this. I cleaned up, got all the gasket material and paint and everything off, and I'm checking for warpage, and so far 3 thousandths goes, 4 thousandths. Okay, I got 3 thousandths there. 3 thousandths, nothing. 3 thousandths, no go. 2 thousandths go. So that is warped there on this side. So let's see what the other side's like. 2000s won't go. $2000s won't go. Yep, 2000s won't go. Driver side straight, passenger side's warped. Which I'm pretty sure 3000s is too much. So that means it's going to be decked. And I want to get those. Really don't want that falling on the ground. Got a precision tube. And okay, let's see, we'll bring you guys in. Let's see. We got a, anyway, V0405TBF, and it was a C9S186490. We can look up those numbers and find out what this come out of. And I think that is 79. So, and that's about when they had these dual blocks. So, and it's not a Mexican motor, thank God. I did have a couple of them that I built as a race car, and they did, but I don't know. So, that passenger side's warped. So far we've figured out we need to deck the block. More than likely bore the block. And hopefully the line bore is fine. So we got to press the pistons off. Then we'll tear into those heads. I don't know if I'll use those heads. If I do, then like I said, I will use a different piston. And well, it's just stupid to decompression them to make them work with those heads. Don't make a lot of sense to me, but I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, I guess I kind of felt like I got a little out of order or so today, and I'm sorry if I did. But you know, there is so much to cover on these motors when you tear into them, and half the time after I get done, I'm like, oh yeah, I could have. Oh man, I forgot that. You know. I like this. This time, I think last time I said I was going to thread these before I go, because I put the screw-in plugs. I don't ever put those push-in ones in after this. They always get converted, so I always said I wanted to do that. Usually remember to do that before it goes to the machine shop, so when you get it back, I try and do all the grinding and everything, and I was hoping to power wash this thing today so it wouldn't have been so oily, and we could have ground it and that. But I look at it this way: once it's all cleaned, hot tanked, and ready, and if I got to do a little grinding here and there, it'll be clean, and then we can wash it. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, oh, I got one more plug here to get out. And yes, you want to take those out, because after that motor last year I showed everybody, the gunk that hides up in there and the chemical, it's enough there to take your motor right out. So anyway guys, I'm trying to get back in the groove and trying to get some more instructional videos and get this going again. And I was hoping for a quick flip on this motor, but right now, looks like my luck has continued, and it's not going to happen. So, let's just see some of that. Okay, that come off. Oh yeah. So, anyway, thanks you guys, and we'll continue on this. And like I said, I will try to keep this as a playlist. So if you ever watch this after this, this whole motor should be on a playlist, so if I don't forget. Thanks for watching TLC Bear 2. Jeez. TLC Bear 2. And we'll get at her, see what we can get done.